Okay, I'm here with actor Shezi Sardar, who has done a number of co-starring roles on some of Primetime's current hits like Mysteries of Laura and Elementary. Why don't we go back and talk about when you first wanted to become an actor? When did you decide that was going to be your main focus for?
Absolutely. First of all, Brian, thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited to be a part of it. I first started thinking about acting way back when in college. I don't want to date myself, but it was some time ago, and I sort of had an epiphany when it came to theater and the arts. And I started building up a lot of my credits while I was in college. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. So Atlanta, being a pretty strong regional market, gave me a lot of opportunities. And that sort of took its own spin. Came up to New York, and I've been working ever since.
And being that you're here now in the city, it does afford you that luxury to do the episodic work on television.
Absolutely. I mean, New York market has grown tremendously, even since I moved here about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And episodics, from what I hear, just this year alone, there's 75 new shows, or shows in total, that are being produced. I mean, this is a boom for opportunities as far as acting is concerned. So episodics, recurring roles, even getting tested for pilots and such, it's a big deal, and certainly that's a way to sort of break into the industry.
Mm-hmm. And another way you kind of broke into the industry, you were part of the diversity showcase that ABC does?
Yes, it was actually NBC.
NBC, sorry.
Yeah, and that was an extraordinary opportunity. I think that sort of set the stage as far as getting my name out there a little bit with the industry and with the casting directors as well. And it was just a lovely experience getting to know the casting team at NBC, getting to work with amazing talent as far as actors and actresses are concerned. It was a ride. Yeah.
And notably, you played a role on Elementary of a Cop just prior to some real-life tragic events happening here in New York, and that eerily coincided with that. Not to delve into that, because it's obviously not about that, but what was that like for you as an actor, having shot that and then having see it play out?
Sure. It's strange. People say life imitates art, or art imitates life, and sometimes you don't know which one comes first. And what's even more bizarre is that sometimes it can coincide with very tragic and overall charged situations that occur in our society. And as an artist, I have to take great care and be sensitive to one, obviously, the messaging that we're putting out. In Elementary, I don't want to give away any plot details, but it was eerily reminiscent of the tragedy that occurred here in New York, as far as the violence is concerned, and you just have to be able to communicate sort of the human element of the entire situation. Oftentimes I think we get lost in the politics and not realize that these are people's lives at stake. And being in a life and death scenario for all those involved, I think that's something, if we as artists can portray or capture its essence in television and film, we're doing at least something to connect with our audience and with society at large.
And speaking of diversity, you could play quite a leap diversity-wise. Greek and Italian and Indian and a whole bunch of stuff. What is it like to be, obviously the acting community is sort of a melting pot when it comes to blind casting. And so what's that been like for you to be able to, run the gamut of nationalities and not stick possibly true to what your own nationality is?
I think it's a great time to be an actor with a diverse background. I think diversity is hot these days. I mean, you can see the type of shows that are on TV and that are being produced, across the networks. And I think that having a look as an actor that is fairly, I guess you can say, international, I suppose, for lack of a better word, helps in getting cast. I have played more Middle Eastern characters than I have South Asian, and I'm of South Asian background. So it just goes to show that you don't need to be limited by your ethnic background. It is frankly not a limitation. You can use it to your advantage as a tool in your arsenal of tools as an actor. Why not? Now that's not to say you can't play a role that may be non-ethnic in its designation, certainly. And that's really the world of possibilities here. Use your talents to showcase to those who are looking at you for a role that, look, I really can play any character out there beyond my own ethnic background.
Now, one of the things I like about you, we have met in the past, is that, or one of the things I would like to see you do that you may have already, is a comedy. You have a very, probably not on purpose, comedic nature, but you're also today you happen to be buttoned up and very serious, but you're very well versed and very articulate when you speak. So it seems like you could lend yourself a great service to playing roles like that. But is a comedy something that you have done before?
Well, I love comedy. I was, like many actors, initially intimidated by comedy until you sort of find the funny in things and you catch on to it, and you should latch onto it and sort of explore that world. The NBC Diversity Showcase, for example, was purely comedic.
Okay.
I would say even a little more than comedic. It had a little bit of slapstick in it as well. So it was situationally funny and also physically funny. And that really allowed me to open up comedically. And then I started auditioning for comedic roles. I love comedy. I just did a short film where it's a birthday party gone wrong, and it's a crapshoot of adults that sort of start arguing with each other and bantering, and it's filled with comedic timing. So as much as I enjoy drama, and I love drama certainly, and I tend to get cast in dramatic roles, I love comedy. It would be wonderful to be on a comedy show. I think comedy overall is much more challenging to do, believe it or not. People think comedy's easier. It's not.
It's actually harder.
It's harder. Absolutely. It's much harder because there's tone, there's timing, there's a lot of other technical components that go into comedy that brings out the funny. And if you don't capture that, you lose the comedy altogether, and you'll lose your audience. And that's the challenge, and I'm all about that.
That's what I like about you. Your diversity, both ethnically and across the genres. You really nail your parts. And I know you said you just finished a short, which actually led to another film that you're going to be doing in March.
Yeah, so the short I did in, I believe it was in December. I did a feature film called Price for Freedom. I shot that in January. It's set during the revolution in Iran in 1979. It's a historical drama. It's based on a book, actually, so it's based on a true story, which was phenomenal. And that's going to be premiering at the Hoboken International Film Festival in May of this year.
Very
and
nice.
I think they have some other plans. Great ensemble cast. We have Paul Sorvino in that film, Naveed Nagaban from Homeland, and many other talented actors.
Including yourself?
Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of a cast such as that. Beyond that, I'm signed up for a role in a legal drama that's being shot in March. It's called 12 Angry Men and Women. And that its plot is sort of sworn to secrecy at this point, but it is a legal drama. It's another ensemble cast, and I'm excited and look forward to seeing what we get out of that one.
Now, being that you've been up here pounding the pavement in New York and have had fairly successful run of things up here in New York, what would you give as advice to people who are just starting out, whether they be starting out in California, in New York, in Atlanta, where you came from? There's you have a wealth of knowledge, being that you did the Atlanta scene for a while and you've come here and done a lot up here.
I would say, and not to sound cliched, I think persistence is the most important thing. Besides talent, which I think you should continue to cultivate and never stop training, I think you have to win the game, you have to stay in the game. And too many of my friends and colleagues, they just quit thinking that it's not going to happen for them, and they just move on. And I understand being practical, I understand life has its ups and downs, but if this is a passion of yours, I would say keep working in whatever medium, whether it's theater, whether it's film or television. Keep auditioning, keep going on showcases or go-sees, network with casting directors and producers and filmmakers. Be in the scene and be heard and be seen, essentially. I think that's the most important takeaway, whether you're in a regional market like Atlanta or a global one like New York or Los Angeles.
And is there anything that I left out that you would like to talk about? I know, like I said, you're very articulate, and I know you can kind of lead yourself into anything that you'd like to discuss. Obviously very excited about the Hoboken Film Festival. I hope to be able to come to see the film.
Certainly. No, it's exciting for me as well, and I just hope that I continue to produce good work that people enjoy. It's really for them in many ways as much as it is for me, and I look forward to connecting with your audience and maybe doing another interview. 5 years from now, you never know what.
Or on the red carpet of your film premiere.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much for your time, and we'll chat again.
Yeah, and right back at you. Thank you for your time. It's been great.
Absolutely, Brian.
Thanks, Shezi.